Brrr, ah! Brrr, ah! I just performed the first hour of this fuckfest. Anyway, hello there, Nate Jackson, Criterion Collection Viewer Guy here. Number 234, Volker Schlondorf's The Tin Drum. Die Blechrommel, if you will. Oh man, this is our, which one is this? This is our fourth, I think? Our fourth. There's a Lost Honor, Katharina Bloom, Coup de Grace, Tin Drum, and then we got, what was it? What was the name of that one? Young Torless, I think the name of it is. It's coming up later this season. Yeah, let's see. Lost Honor, Katharina Bloom, Coup de Grace, Tin Drum. Yeah, Young Torless, that's number 279, so we'll get to that one probably sometime next year. But for now, we got this thing. I don't know. Oh god, it's like, I don't know. I think just some of it's just, this movie's just too fucking long. I mean, just it goes on and on and on and on and on. It's 1979, 163 minutes. That's 2 hours and 43 minutes. It's like, oh god, just stop. And it's German, and it's just, the story is just crazy and bizarre. And it's one of those what the fuck movies. It's definitely a what the fuck movie. I mean, next to like Three Women, that's two. We had 3 Women, was it last week, I think, and now we got this what the fuck, and it's like, oh life, what is life? But anyway, so let me tell you. So let me try and summarize this. I may fail at certain parts, but so anyway, this soldier's running and he's hiding from his other soldiers, and he hides under this woman's dress. And I guess he has sex with her underneath it or something, or I don't know. He decides to fuck her while he's hiding, and then through that they have a daughter named Agnes, and then Agnes falls in love with her cousin Jan, as well as this guy named Alfred, and she ends up marrying Alfred, and they have a son. And I guess they have a son. Oscar. Oscar is our problem child. And I do mean problem child. Oscar, I mean, after a really disgustingly bizarre, gross scene shows Oscar in the womb, like swimming to the end, and coming out full grown, coming out at the age of the actor, we see Oscar grow up a little bit, barely, because it's around age 3 when he finds out that his parents are getting him a tin drum, and he decides to basically stop growing. And you know how he does it? And I don't understand. I mean, maybe this is a real medical thing you could do, but he throws himself down the fucking stairs, the cellar stairs. And it's like the parents find him and he stops growing, basically. Basically, yeah. He ages, but he stops aging. His body is just the same thing. And so he always has the body of a quote-unquote 3-year-old, even though I think he ends up being, he's like in his 40s by the end of the film or something like that. I think, let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of the timeline. But yeah, so anyway, basically all he does is beat this drum and scream. And his screams can break glass. And that's all he does to throw people, and people leave him alone, and he pisses off things and all that. And so, yeah. So anyway, he's like, that's all this kid does, basically. There's this famous scene where he, I guess, plays his drum during a Nazi rally. And, by the way, the Nazis are involved in this, so it means the whole plot goes, Plays this drum, while hiding out in this rally, and he ends up making the band all play, this waltz, play the, was it the Blue Danube, I think, or the Waltz of the Flowers, I think, I don't remember which one it is, it's Blue Danube, and they start waltzing while the officers standing there doing the Sig Heil thing, and yeah. So anyway, he meets this. That's the other thing. He goes to the circus and he meets this dwarf guy What's his name? Maybe they say it if I remember. If I could see it, I remember what his name is. Is it Bebar or something like that? Bebra. Bebra, that's his name. So yeah, so he meets. Oh jeez. So I'm looking at this booklet and they got the naked Maria photo in here. I'm like, I don't want to see that. So anyway, but I'll get to Maria in a bit. So, because this is where the plot goes even further. So anyway, Oscar meets Bebra, and they become friends because they're both the same height and they both, are getting older, even though they haven't grown, physically grown. And so, anyway, so Oscar kind of figures out the whole, believes that Jan is his father, even though Alfred is, and and all that. So anyway, the war hits on, and Agnes dies after eating too much fish or something. I don't know what that was about. I guess she had a kid through Jan or something like that. She actually had Jan's kid, but she's like, no, I ain't gonna have it, and she kills herself or something like that, or she dies. I think she dies because she ate too much fish. Because this whole scene where I guess she gets sick from watching eels being taken out of a horse's mouth or something, and Alfred wants her to eat it, but Jan comforts her, and so then she starts pigging out on fish and just shoveling it in her mouth through a bucket. And I would think that would kill you eventually. Fish is supposed to be good for you, but I think that shoving it out of a bucket, especially back then. I don't know if she even cleaned that shit, but it's like, fuck. So anyway, what else? I'm trying to remember. So anyway, the war goes on. Jan gets in the fighting and all that, and he fights the Nazis and gets wounded and stuff like that, and he ends up getting killed by the Nazis and all that. And so he lives with Alfred. So he lives with Alfred. And Alfred hires this young girl, I think she's 16, Maria, to work in his shop. And Oscar falls in love with her because by this point he's 16, he's 16 as well. And he ends up and this is where it just gets really weird. And this is where it got really controversial apparently, because Oscar seduces her by licking the sugar stuff out of her navel, and eventually and in this one scene where they change clothes in this office thing and this little tent, and he ends up putting his head right in her, when she takes her clothes off, he puts her head right in her, her he eats her out. That's what he tries to eat her out, and that's what happens. And then later on he does it, and apparently he probably has sex with her. This is we don't see it, because obviously he couldn't do that, And apparently the actress who played Maria, whose name I don't know, what's her name? What was the actress's name? Just so I could say I said it. Katharina Thalbach. Yeah, that's her name. She didn't want to get naked in front of the camera, and Schlondorf explains this in an interview. But yeah, so we see all this. It makes sense. I guess she's played a 16-year-old girl, though I think it said she was 24 at the time, so it wouldn't have been child porn or anything like that. But at the same time, I guess but David Bennett, the actor who played Oscar, was I think 16, 17, I think he was 11 or 12 at the time. So yeah, so that was a little weird. An 11-year-old going down on a 24-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of... Anyway, Alfred has sex with Maria. Oscar gets pissed, tries to shove his drum up his ass, beats Oscar, and he protects himself with the drum. Oscar gets pissed off at... Oscar and Maria get pissed off with each other, and he kicks her in the stomach and or punches her in the stomach, and she ends up having a kid, and he thinks it's his son and all that, and so, and then we kind of leave that for a while. We go back to Bebra, and there's another dwarf in the team named Roswitha, and Oscar falls in love with her. They have a relationship together, and all that, and he ends up meanwhile still taking care of his son, who's named Kurt. He gives him a tin drum, and meanwhile the Nazis go around and do stuff and basically kill Alfred after he chokes on this pin, a Nazi pin. That's how he dies. And so while he's at Alfred's funeral, he has this revelation where Oscar decides to just stop, to start growing up again, basically. So his son throws a rock at his head, and he falls into the coffin, and then and I guess he starts growing up again. And then his family move, and that's the end of the film. I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's not. Oh god. I mean, it's like, first of all, the whole, just like, I mean, I tried to side with this character, thinking that, I believed him for a while, but, after a while it just got a little too bizarre, and just was like, come on, just stop it, So anyway, that's the movie. Schlondorf, I think this isn't his greatest work. I think Coup de Grace was a better film overall, even though I still need to watch that one again, because it, like I said, I remember I couldn't read the subtitles, so Schlondorf might have a really shitty film in that, but I think, at least it wasn't as long as this, and it also wasn't as bizarre and outrageous as this, too. So, yeah, I mean, Lost Honor Katharina Bloom, yeah, that wasn't that great. I don't know, between the two, I'd have to say, oh gosh, I Lost Honor Katharina Bloom. So probably this one might have been a little bit better than Katharina Bloom, just for certain, because the plot was a little easier to understand than Katharina Bloom. But yeah, Coup de Grace, I think I still enjoyed a little bit more. I mean, even though I didn't understand a lot of it, I got it in the end, and so did the girl. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what I can give this one. I want to give it a D+. That might be a little cruel, so I'll try for a C-. This is a movie. We can call this a movie, but it's not a good movie. It's long, it's weird, and it's kind of gross at times. It's really gross at times, with the burst scene, Oscar spitting into the sugar that is in Maria's hand, and her eating the sugar. It's just disgusting. And of course the whole sex idea, So, C-. It's a movie, but blah. All right, so now this is so as I mentioned before, this is the Blu-ray edition. So we have everything in one little tight, neat little package, and I really need a better TV for this, because I have an old Toshiba. It doesn't have HDMI. It's my grandma's. And if I could, I'll show it to you here. This is my TV. You see that? That's the TV I have. That's the TV I've been watching all these things on, and you can tell it's dated, basically. Hope you can see that. So yeah, I've had that. I got that from my grandma, and I've just been using it as my own, and So I've been using that. And it's, like I said, it doesn't have HDMI, only runs AV cable, which, is fine, but you get a lot of weird hum. I think the cables might be bad or something like that. So yeah, so I am getting a new TV for my new house, and it has HDMI capability, and I have an HDMI cable ready to go and all that. I just haven't used it. So yeah, so hopefully these Blu-rays will look better on an actual HD TV. But for now, it's still a really interesting format. I mean, the Blu-ray disc, especially the way Criterion does it all. I think part of my problem is it's just really hard to read font. The font, it's like I'm squinting at the descriptions of all the supplements. Like in this segment, I was doing a lot of that. So yeah, supplements. There's an hour interview with Volker Schlondorf, which I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I just sat through a 2.5 hour film, and I'm like, no, this is it. I mean, thankfully, it's with the director. I mean, I can forgive it because it's the director. And he tells some interesting stories, like the ones I told you about, like, the story about Katharina, what's her name? Katharina Thalbach, and working with David Bennett. How the movie didn't really come together until David Bennett came in the picture, and the controversy. I guess it was banned in Oklahoma. It was, for child pornography, indecencies, and stuff like that. And for a while, it was basically shown uncut with like 20 minutes cut out of the film. And so there's that, and he talks about the history of that. And I guess he talked about when making the director's cut, there were a lot of scenes that I guess were maybe like missing sound. And so they got David Bennett to re-record his sounds and like speed up his voice to match his voice as he was in the back in the 1970s. And so it was really neat, because I guess David Bennett had like this growing thing too, because even though he was that short, he actually was, I think, 11. I think he said he was 11 at the time, or 11 or 12. So, although, wait a minute, I'm gonna look that up, because let me see. So David Bennett was born in September 9th, 1966. Yeah, which means that he was 11 in 1977. He was about 11 to 12 when they made the film. So that the fact that he was that short, was a little interesting. I guess he did have some kind of thing, but they found a cure for it, so he could grow up, and he actually looked a lot older. He has like dark black hair during the recording and all that, and so it was really neat just to see that little shot of him recording his voice again. There's that. Oh god, and then there's a interview with a white guy, film scholar Timothy Corrigan, where he talks about the symbolism and the social experimentation and the foreground and the background and images in the mirror, and the way that Oscar represents the child in all of us, and white. And I'm not racist. I'm not, but this is just, I'm not a film scholar, I'm just in film. This is kind of annoying, you know what I mean? Kind of annoying. I want to know about the making of the film. I don't know about themes or like images and all that. I want to know about what happened behind the scenes, how the film was made, story anecdotes on the set. I want to know the history of the film. I want to know about what I missed in the film, shit like that. So, yeah. What else we got? There's a German audio recording of Günter Grass, the author of the novel The Tin Drum. He's reading an excerpt from the book, the scene where Oscar plays the drum, and plays the drum, and all the Nazis start waltzing. So it's like shows the scene, and it's Grass reading the book. And then there's a bunch of television excerpts from interviews with Schlondorf and Grass and David Bennett, and then so they're just talking about him, and a little interview with him after Palms, where I guess he won the Golden Palm for 1979, 1980, and the trailer, and that's about it. So yeah, this one went on too long, and that's the thing. Why is this on Blu-ray? Why is this one of all movies on Blu-ray? This is a DVD. This is a DVD kind of movie. This movie I would expect on DVD, but not on Blu-ray. So I don't know. I think there's so many better movies they could have put out on Blu-ray before this one. So that's just my little commentary. Yeah, D minus. Now there's one other thing that worries me. I'm gonna look at the Wikipedia page, and there's one thing that it doesn't worry me, but it's a little interesting. Censorship. They talks about there's a section on the Wikipedia page where they talk about the censorship in Oklahoma. It says, this incident was covered in the documentary film Banned in Oklahoma, which is included in the 2004 Criterion Collection DVD release of The Tin Drum. It's not on here. It's not on the Blu-ray, which leads me, now, there are some, maybe it's possible they lost the rights to that documentary film, and so they said, well, we had to delete it. But the only thing is, it's not credited on Criterion's website. It's possible that they reissued the DVD with this cover and had to delete it for that particular DVD release as well. Which is funny because I worked at my old library. We used to have the tin drum. I saw it all the time on the shelves, and so it's weird that So I'm wondering if maybe I should start getting. If I get a Blu-ray, I should get the old DVDs as well, because they're even. I understand like certain movies go out of print, but when supplements go out of print, that's a whole other interesting aspect of it all. And so so I'm not seeing it on Criterion's website. So I'm wondering like maybe they made a mistake, or maybe it is on the DVD and they wiped it off of that one because they're not offering that particular DVD issue, the old 2004 issue. Because this was released 2013, so I'm assuming the DVD came out at the same time. But yeah, no, so I mean, I'd like to maybe take another look at that because I hate the fact that, the U.S. is just so uptight, I mean, yours included, I mean, I'm pretty uptight as well as far as sex. Obviously I didn't care much for seeing all that sex, So, but anyway, so I'm gonna look into this whole banned in Oklahoma thing because I know we have the tin drum floating around in our system. This is, one I had to get from Link Plus from our outer library. This came from Cal Maritime Library. And so, yeah, so hopefully we'll look into that. Maybe I'll watch it sometime. Maybe I'll get it sometime next week, and I'll tack it on to a review or something like that. But anyway, that's it for today. That's a bad movie. Tomorrow we got The Leopard. Oh boy, another long ass. Even longer. This is even longer than oh my god, this is even longer than friggin' Tin Drum. Oh god. Oh lord. But anyway, so this tomorrow we're gonna skip the American release. We're just gonna fuck it, We'll watch the 3-hour version, and we'll watch all the damn supplements, an hour-long documentary with the making of The Leopard. Oh Jesus H. This movie don't even look good either. I mean, Burt Lancaster's a cool actor, but I'm just looking at it. It's Italian too. It's like a 3-hour Italian movie. Who the fuck do they think they are? Fellini? Wait, this ain't Fellini, right? No, this is Luchino Visconti. What the fuck else did he direct? Did he direct anything else that somebody would know? Wait a minute. Did he direct anything else we're gonna see, or is there anything I've seen yet? Visconti. Nope. This is our first movie. Le Notte Bianche, number 296. Okay, so we got another one of his movies coming up. And then Senso, number 556. Okay, well, the point is, it's long. So anyway, so that's tomorrow. And then next week, we got Mama Roma, Smiles of a Summer Night, Woman is a Woman, and Lower Depths. And then, of course, week after that, we got Early Summer, and then the Renoir movies, yeah. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Don't have sex with... Well, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, I can't give you that one. Don't try to stunt your growth by falling downstairs. And don't spit in candy. And don't have sex with women who agree to hide you under their dress while soldiers question her. And yeah, don't break glass with your voice. Yeah. Unless you're getting really paid big money to do it. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on tomorrow, Saturday, the 28th, for The Leopard. There's The Leopard. Rawr. And until then, goodbye.